I never want to be that guy who would wake up one morning and realize that his whole life just fell apart because he was focused on what he loves. So I know we've all heard this story before. A famous actor, musician, YouTuber, athlete just disappears from the face of the earth. No one knows where they went, what they're doing. You just stop hearing about them. But a couple of months later, they show up. And the story goes like this. Sorry guys, I had to, take a break from everything I was doing because I got burnt out. My relationship with my girlfriend was suffering. My kids needed me even more. I just kept working hard and focusing on my job that, I started to suffer health-wise. I wasn't paying attention to what I was eating. And all of a sudden, I burnt out and I lost passion for everything I was doing. So I had to take a break. I know we've all heard that story before. And I think I got a glimpse of what that would feel like. I can relate to that on some level. So as you all know, last week I published my first YouTube video. Great. But also, you guys don't know that it took me 6 hours to edit a 6-minute video. And this is something that I plan on doing every week, So it got me thinking like, wait a minute, if this is going to require all these hours, where am I going to find the time to be able to be consistent at doing this? Because this feels like I just got a new job. As you all know, I'm an actor and a podcaster. And now I have this YouTube channel that I have to put content on. I have to publish videos every week. I have to stay on top of what I'm talking about. I have to stay on top of things that I want to, do as a YouTuber, as a podcaster, and an actor. And also, I have a family that needs my attention. My kids, I have 3 kids under 7 years old. And they require a lot of attention. They want to play. They're so active. They wake up at 5:30, 6 in the morning, and they're ready to go. So I started to think about all these things. And I never want to be that guy who will put out content, who will have an appearance of perfection. Like, yeah, Michael's putting out all these videos and this podcast and these TV shows. But then what really matters, which is my family, starts to suffer. But not just my family, maybe my health, my mental health. Like, I'm just doing things, without even thinking or paying attention to my body or my mind or how I'm feeling, all for the sake of just putting out videos. So for a second, I started to think, was it a good choice to even start this YouTube channel? Because I barely even have time for all the things that I'm responsible for as a father and a husband. I don't own this space, so every time that I want to record, I have to load up my car with all my equipment, the camera, the lights, the mics, the Rodecaster Pro. I have to make sure that I'm not forgetting anything at home, so I don't have to get here and then realize that I have to drive back home. And not only that, when I get here, I have to set everything up, set up the lights, the mic, and make sure everything's working. And most times, by the time I'm done setting up, I really don't have the passion to keep talking, especially if I have a guest that I want to talk to, or I have a show that I want to do by myself. It just takes a lot of time, and it requires me to be fresh and clear in my head to be able to talk and be honest about things that I'm saying. It's a different thing if I own this space and I come in here and everything is set and all I have to do is just push record. I just don't wake up in the morning, sip on my coffee and walk out of bed and just go film. I've got kids. They need breakfast. They want to play. They want to go out. They want to swim. And with COVID, we've had the kids 24/7 at home. It's just a lot to juggle, I kid you not. And most times I get an email from my agent saying, hey, Michael, you have this audition and they need it by tomorrow morning, which is barely even 10 hours, and I have to memorize those lines and I have to film. I have to be truthful to the character and I have to appear to show that I know what I'm talking about. So thinking about all these things really got me stressed out. But I realized that it's also a pattern that I noticed within myself over the past couple of years. Whenever things got difficult, there was a tendency to quit. And I would quit not because I didn't want to do it, but I had good reasons to why I would quit. So for an example, if I want to quit YouTube right now, my example would be like, you know what? I want to pay attention to my family. I don't want my relationship with my wife or my kids to suffer. I realize I don't have time for YouTube, so I'm going to quit. But guess what? I'm not going to quit. In the midst of all this, there's one thing that I've been doing that's been helping me over the past couple of months, which is to write down everything that I want to accomplish for the day. Now, it's not some big, grandiose plan of, oh, I want to buy a BMW. It could be as simple as, I want to talk to Jeff today, and this is what I want to talk about. And just research the topic, just have it outlined step by step. These are the things that I'm going to do. Or for instance, if I want to film, this is what I want to film, and this is how I'm going to accomplish it. They're very simple, step by step things that I write, and it helps me stay accountable to myself. And I also find that as an actor, you're your own boss. You're your own boss. It's one thing if you're working for a company, you have a team of people you're working with, people that you're accountable to. You have a boss who is always looking over your shoulder to make sure you're doing your jobs, correctly. But then as an actor, you're your own boss. You're CEO of everything that you're doing. And there's a tendency to just procrastinate or just be lax, because until you make it big as an actor, there's going to be huge space of time where you don't find work. Sometimes, I don't even get jobs for a year. I might just do, film a movie today, and then I don't get a job for the next 6 months. So I realized that I have passion for telling stories. I started a podcast. Now I want to be able to tell stories with this camera, and it's something I'm passionate about. But like I said, I started to realize that there's all these things that are happening around me that I have to pay attention to. I never want to be that guy who would wake up one morning and realize that his whole life just fell apart because he was focused on what he loves. And don't get me wrong, I also realized with people who are successful, there's a little bit of selfishness that's involved. And I know it sounds bad. Oh, why you don't want to be selfish. But honestly, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. It's never going to be perfect. Everyone's not going to agree with your plan. Everyone's not going to be like, yeah, right on, Michael. That's a great plan. There's going to be challenges, but you have to decide if you want to keep doing this or not. I'm in the process of learning how I'm going to function as a YouTuber, as an actor, and to make sure that my personal life doesn't suffer because I've decided, to take on this journey. So yeah, guys, that's the update, and that's something I wanted to talk about because it's been heavy on my mind, and I just felt like I had to let you guys know that this is what I'm facing, but I plan to continue, and this is not going to be the end. And that's it. If you persist, if you continue to do what you're doing, you're going to find people along the way that will help you, that will complement that thing that you're doing. They'll teach you new skills. They will encourage you. They will show you the way, but you just got to stick to what you're doing. I don't plan on quitting, guys. I'm never going to quit. This is Michael Jibrin. This is the Road to the City vlog. Until the next video, stay safe, be good.